Hey y'all, in today's story time, I'm going to discuss about the time that I got deported. Before I get into it, I want to say if this is the first time that you are tuning into my channel, number one, you're messy. I done had travel vlogs, advice, all sorts of video, but because you like mess, you're over here in my business. I'm here for it. I'm going to get into it, but you should watch my other videos as well and like and subscribe to my channel. So, if you don't know, I am an American expat living in London. I have lived in the UK for the last 7 years. So, I moved to the UK in 2017. But what I didn't tell y'all was in 2016, I got deported from the UK, straight out of Heathrow Airport. I got deported. So what had happened was I moved here with all of my suitcases. I didn't bring any furniture, just clothes. And like most people, I hear this happens to Americans a lot. I really didn't know that you ain't supposed to tell them folk down to the customs and border that you are here to work or to look for work if you do not have a visa. On a side note, I have a video discussing how I successfully applied for a Tier 2 skilled worker visa. I'll have a link to that video in the comments and you can watch that full video. But before I applied for a visa, I just moved here with my things and didn't think nothing of it. And when I got off the plane and I'm going through customs with my passport, they ask you a series of questions. I've traveled extensively. As you can see, I have travel vlogs on my channel. And they'll typically ask you something like, what is the purpose of you being in the UK? Why are you in London? And this was around the holiday period. And what I told them was the truth. So I have extended family here in London. And so I said, I'm here to visit family for the holiday. I'm here to travel for the holiday. And I'm also here to work. And what the custom agent said is, what kind of work? Like, what do you mean you're here to work? And so then I started to explain what type of work I would be doing. And in my mind, it's not clicking at that moment that things are going left. Because part of it is like, as an American, if you don't have like felonies and stuff like that, you could just pretty much move freely. You don't have to check in. You don't have to really request permission. You can just go about and do what you want. And it don't work like that when you're crossing borders. And so I'm not used to asking for permission to do stuff. I just can do what I want to do. And when I'm telling her, I'm here to work, and then she's asking me, she's not asking me about the other stuff. She's not asking me what part of the UK does your family live in? Where are you planning to travel? She's only asking me questions about the work bit that I said. And initially, it's not striking me as odd until she took my passport and she had these papers and she's filling out these papers. And then it starts to register what the hell is this lady doing? So they take me out the line, out the customs and border line, and they have me sit off to the side. So I'm just this is strange. But because like I mentioned earlier, I have extended family here in London. My cousin and her husband was at the airport to pick me up. They was at the airport waiting for me. And so while I'm off to the side, I'm texting my cousin the border agent took my passport and she's filling out these papers. I'll let you know what's going on in a few minutes. And so she's filling out the papers, and then she you need to follow me. And I'm what do you mean I need to follow you? Follow you where? And she was I'll explain everything later. You just need to follow me. And so basically what they got going on, I'm assuming this is at every airport, but I specifically was at Heathrow, which is in North London. They took me into the back of the airport where it's not like a jail. It's not a jail cell. It's not a holding cell, but it's like this area that's secluded where you can't like see people like walking through terminals. It's like in the back of the back of the back. And they have staff there, and they have like a bunch of chairs there, and they had other people there that essentially was detained. Let's just call it detained, even though it's not jail. That was detained by Custom and Border for whatever reason. And this is when it really starts to click in my head, like, OMG, what the hell is going on? So there is a lady there, I believe she was from Hong Kong. There was an Australian girl back there, like boo-hoo crying, like face on cherry red. She was crying so hard. And they all said something that they wasn't supposed to say, like me, like they was there for work or whatever the case may be. Now, this is during the holiday period, like I said. So I done already made, New Year's Eve plans. I had done made all of these things in order to have a good time to ring my New Year in London. And they sat me down and they were like, you are going to be sent back to the United States on the next flight back to the city that you departed from. You cannot enter the UK at this time because you do not have the adequate work permits or work visas. You cannot come to the UK to work without permission from our government. So they had like pages and pages and pages of documents that explain according to whatever law that I had violated, and that essentially I had to get the hell on. I had to get the hell on and get the hell back to America expeditiously. So while I'm back there, I'm just like, this is crazy. And so, like, I wasn't mistreated. I didn't see anybody else being mistreated. They basically was like, if you hungry, they had like minute rice. They had like oodles and noodles. They had fruit. They had like Capri Sun type of drinks. So they was feeding you, they was giving you something to drink, but they basically held you back there until your flight left, but they took your passport away. So while I'm back there waiting to get my ass on the flight back to America, I'm like, can I call my attorney? And they're like, no. They were like, no. They were like, it doesn't matter if you have an attorney. You cannot call your attorney. According to the UK, whatever customs law that you have violated, it's no debating, it's no back and forth. Girl, you gots to go. And so I'm not like, if you've watched my videos, maybe it comes across, maybe it doesn't, but I am more rational than I am emotional. I'm not an emotional type of girl. I'm not the type of person that cries very often. But baby, I went in the bathroom in that holding cell area and I cried my eyes out, and then I got myself together and came back out. And I was just so devastated because I'm like, one, I couldn't believe like that was happening to me, because I follow the rules. I'm the type of girl that I don't really like get into these type of circumstances, because in my mind it was not an issue. It was not an issue for me to just go there and do what I was planning to do. I really didn't have no forethought about it. And so that was the first part about it. And number two, y'all done ruined my New Year's Eve plans. I had things that I wanted to do. I'm a girl that likes to travel, and I'm a girl that likes to party and turn up when it's time to turn up. And if it's lit, I need to be lit too. And so I was just like really thinking about all of that, and how now it's like putting me in a situation where I'm going back home when that was not part of the plan. So basically, that is the story of how I got deported. I tried to come to the UK without the adequate work permits, and the custom and border agent put my ass to the back and had me on the flight back to my city that I departed from. And that is what happened to me. Obviously, I live here now. I have lived here for a number of years. So that isolated incident in no way had a deterrent upon, my further applications for visa, for the Tier 2 visa. And I now have indefinite leave to remain, which is permanent residency, the equivalent to a green card in the United States. So that is the story of how I got deported. The only time that I got deported. And on God, that ain't never happening to me again. If you like this story, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll check y'all out next time. Bye.